audience. What are you doing here? I showed you I could fly, but as I told you before, it's difficult to land. That's the way it is. So we're going to be talking about in this blog episode is landings. What's involved. And I jokingly said in my little intro there that I could fly, but landing was difficult. And just like this plane coming in behind me, landing is more difficult than taking off. And that's what we're going to talk about in this blog episode. Hope you enjoy. You know, all the great aircraft movies of the 60s and 70s where something would go wrong invariably had something to do with the landing. Who was going to land the plane? Pilots were ill or injured. They had to find somebody on board who could fly. Maybe somebody with World War II experience. And nowadays, of course, when I say, and I say it jokingly, that landings are difficult, they're relatively simple if you use an automated landing system. But to land a plane by yourself, different story. Because you see, you can't just come in and land. If you try to come in and land with the wings in flying shape or configuration, you're not going to do so well. There's a plane coming in over here. To give you an example, I can see it has flaps down full, and those flaps give it lift. And you might think that's odd. If you're trying to land, why would you need lift? Well, essentially what you're doing is you're pushing against that lift so that when you touch the ground, it's gentle. Otherwise, you'd just be coming in sort of a controlled crash, which is, I understand, how they land on aircraft carriers, out of necessity. So the landing is much more difficult. The plane has to be configured a certain way. You have to remember to put the landing gear down. I'm absent-minded, so I probably forget to do that. I realize there's checklists, but you don't know how absent-minded I am. So you come in to land, flaps down, you're configured for landing, the aircraft is in a position to land, and at the last second before you land, you flare, you pull the nose back. That slows you down, gives you even more lift, and gives you a gentle touchdown on the runway. As I said, a lot different than what we talked about before in takeoff, where you just simply are pointed in the right direction, hopefully, anyway, and you take off. In some of the smaller planes, you don't even need those flaps we talked about. And if the conditions are right, you can take off without flaps. And that's basically the difference between takeoffs and landings, and why all your takeoffs are free. Well, that's it for today. Well, thank you all for watching.